You heard me say in my opening address at the Saiosh Conference that the way we're working isn't working. 2.93 million people are killed by their work every year around the world.
We don't need to look at the failures. We need to look at the opportunities in that regard.
Now, just to be clear, it's not that we don't look at the failures. Every time we hurt or kill someone, we must investigate.
Of course.
But this isn't about rebranding. This isn't about marketing spin. This isn't about creating a new slogan. This is about redefining what we mean when we say the word safety.
Hello and welcome to My Safety Hub, your go-to source for all things health and safety. We are here live at the Saiosh Conference 2025 and I'm joined here with Andrew Sharman, Chief Executive of IILSC. Andrew, welcome to My Safety Hub.
Thank you.
An absolutely revolutionary presentation that you brought about here today at the Saiosh Conference. Now, I just have a few additional questions for you if you don't mind. So first and foremost, you've written extensively on redefining safety and shifting the focus from mere compliance to a more holistic approach. How do you think safety professionals can effectively rebrand safety to make it more appealing and meaningful to their stakeholders, particularly in industries where safety is often seen as a tick box exercise?
Munir, that's a good question, but it's the wrong question. This isn't about rebranding. This isn't about marketing spin. This isn't about creating a new slogan. This is about redefining what we mean when we say the word safety and coming up with a meaningful definition that makes sense to the business. Safety is not an add-on. It's not something that a department does for the business. It's not about ticking boxes, as you suggest. It's about creating an environment where the work is successfully done for the benefit of everybody, the workers, the leaders, and the business at large. And so what I'm advocating here in my books and today at Saiosh is that we need to stop focusing on failure, the accidents that we have, and instead start creating safety, looking at the inputs, the behaviors, the performances that give us a great safety culture. And when we have a strong safety culture, everything else follows. We hurt less people, we kill less people, and everybody feels happier in the workplace.
I fully agree there, and I think that's a very valid point, that we don't need to look at the failures. We need to look at the opportunities in that regard.
Now, just to be clear, it's not that we don't look at the failures. Every time we hurt or kill someone, we must investigate it.
Of course.
But we've got to get out of the trap of investigating, coming up with the key learning points, and then sharing that en masse with everybody anywhere.
I agree.
Because that just doesn't work. Every accident is unique. And so learning from accidents has to be much more meaningful than just sending a sheet of paper saying, everybody do this from now on.
Yeah, I fully agree with that statement. During your presentation, you also mentioned that the absence of accidents does not mean the existence of safety. Can you elaborate more on that statement for us?
Sure. So many organizations and many leaders think that so long as they've had zero accidents or they've got a very low level of accidents, everything must be under control. Everything must be safe. But that's simply not true. I flew here to Cape Town from Geneva in Switzerland, over to London Heathrow, then to Cape Town. The planes didn't crash. Does that mean that they were safe? Well, maybe that's a question that's too big for us right now. So let's make it on a much smaller scale. I drove yesterday from downtown Cape Town to this venue. The driver didn't crash the car. Was he driving safely? Well, of course, you can't answer that question. You don't know. But I can tell you, driving here in South Africa does leave me a little bit scared sometimes.
Sure.
Right? There's some challenges here. So just because we don't have an accident doesn't mean everything's under control. We need to look deeper than that. So instead of focusing on failure, the accidents and whether they're happening or not, we focus on success and the things that really make a difference.
I agree. So focusing on the successes is the crux of the matter here. So if we have a look at those metrics and we look at the failures, we look at the successes, how do you think safety professionals can effectively measure those successes?
I was just asked a very similar question. Someone said to me in the audience, so if we don't measure accidents, what should we measure? And my answer is, well, I don't know. I don't know. And it's not that I don't know 100 different metrics, it's that I don't know what's going to work in your organization. And so rather than trying to come up with a set of metrics that you hope might work, the organization needs to look at the behaviors that it wants to see more of and then target those with metrics that are meaningful. So would you like to see more supervisors leading safety meetings? Would you like to see more employee suggestions on safety? Would you like to see more leaders opening town halls with a meaningful safety moment? These are the sort of things I think that will really start to change the game. We measure inputs in order to get the right outputs.
Yeah, no, I think that's a very valid point. Then, in closing, the future of safety for you, what does that look like in your perspective?
It has to be radically different from where it is right now. You heard me say in my opening address at the Saiosh conference that the way we're working isn't working. 2.93 million people are killed by their work every year around the world. That number went up over the last 12 months from 2.78 million. We have got to fundamentally change the way that we work in safety. So that starts with redefining what safety is.
Sure.
Coming up with a clear definition that everybody in the organization understands. Second, we need leadership engagement, active engagement, where leaders are going out and having meaningful discussions with the workers every day about safety. Third, we need to shift the relationship between the safety department and the organization. The safety department doesn't do safety for the organization. They should be the guides, the business partners, helping leaders understand their responsibilities, but most importantly, helping leaders understand how they can have impact in safety. And then I think to wrap all of that up, the future of the OSH profession needs to become much more human. Much more human. For too long, we've been driven by process, procedure, and policy and paperwork. And it has killed the reputation of OSH professionals. And it has damaged organizations who feel like they're on a go slow because there's so much bureaucracy created by safety. We've got to strip that back. And our job as safety professionals should be, how do we allow the business to do whatever it needs to do safely, rather than how do we create lots of systems and procedures that restrict the business?
Integrating that into the system itself, becoming a value in essence.
Sure.
All right. Dr. Professor Andrew, thank you very much for your time today. We thoroughly enjoyed your presentation and taking the time to meet with us, and we wish you all the best for the future.
You're very welcome.
Thank you
It's a
very
pleasure
much.
to be with you, Manir.
Thank you.